Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling with Game Dev. I am, of course, Tony Giles, alongside the man with the actual plan, Mike Hermann. And we left you last week on such a pivotal moment. We've got the Road Warriors. We've got Tommy Dreamer. The game is coming together. Mike, how are you, man? I can't believe it feels like I haven't spoken to you for so long. It's only been a week, but I want to know the story as much as you guys do. So, fill us in.
Tony, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm anxious.
Yep.
We've got Tommy Dreamer. Tommy's made some appearances for RetroSoft. I believe he did some
he did so
stuff.
He fast forward a little bit. God, it was pre-COVID. So it is 2019. So the first appearance he did for us was Too Many Games, which is a convention right near me. Pretty big. Yeah. They get about, I want to say, 20,000 people over the weekend.
Whoa!
And this year might even be more now because this year was huge. Like, it's in June of every year. And it's one of the biggest outside of maybe like PAX East. Maybe they might be as big as PAX now. I don't know. Like it's pretty big. So yeah, I brought Tommy out there. It's funny, so I totally was a mark. Well, not that I'm not still. So keep in mind, this is my first interaction with a wrestler, really, from a business standpoint, right? So I contact Tommy. I go, hey, we have it. I'm getting my dates wrong. It's roughly, it relates to Tommy and signing him. So we'll maybe go out a little order. But at this point, we have a playable demo.
Right.
So we don't have Tommy in there yet, though. We just have these bald-headed, one white guy and one black guy, just bald. One wore pink shorts and one wore green shorts.
Okay.
And it was just to keep them separate, so we didn't want two of the same one. So we'll do one white guy, one black guy, and it was easy to keep apart. So we have that working. We have most of the gameplay in now at this point. Still, we're way behind on art though, but not necessarily behind. It's just we're still working on the gameplay, and we have just some basic animations in. But we can do a body slam at this point.
Oh, okay. So
the grapple works. It's timing based, and you can do like a body slam and some moves. So it is a playable demo, but we were more like, at this point, we had launched our social media. So I guess we'll go back to that in a minute. But so I meet Tommy for the first time. But the reason I brought this up is I hired a guy because I want to make a good first impression. So I hired somebody to do a custom Tommy Dreamer figure. So we did have what he was going to look like in the game, or I guess we had photos. It was like his House of Hardcore, which he ended up being like kind of the Tommy Dream or the Dusty Rhodes homage because the polka dots a little bit. So we knew what he was going to look like. So we created a Tommy Dreamer figure to give him. So this is gonna be a jam-packed episode now. I'm thinking about because a lot of things happened at this time.
That's so
cool. So I have this Tommy Dreamer, and then I got somebody design like an actual card back for it and everything. So I think he appreciated it. We made two. We gave one away, and I gave one to Tommy. And it's funny, he had a podcast at the time. I don't think he's still doing it, but where he would review Oreos.
Oh, okay.
So like different flavor Oreos. So I got these probably pretty rancid Oreos from like Asia, and I imported them in to give him a pack of these. They're like pistachio flavored Oreos or something like really whack like that.
Yeah,
but I thought it would be good podcast material. And honestly, I'm not sure. Oh no, it was wasabi. That's what it was.
Oh,
it was wasabi. So I gave him that and the figure, and he came out. I met him. He signed autographs. So this was June of 2019. So we did a lot from like signing the Road Warriors to Tommy Dreamer. So a couple other things happened in this kind of time stretch. And I do want to go back to one thing because one of the things we decided at this point was the name of the game. And I think I mentioned on a previous episode, we were thinking of RetroFest or something like that. So I said I would bring it, and I forgot last because I think this was 2 episodes we brought this up.
Yeah.
So I have 2 covers when we were called RetroFest Wrestling. So the first one, this first or second, was.
Oh, dude, that looks awesome. Yeah,
So
the NWA logo and everything.
Yeah. So this is before we actually talked to the NWA, but I think we were in the process of talking to them.
Okay.
So this was, nothing's inside this one, but this is the one I kind of took a picture and showed to Animal. I think I might have sent him one in the mail to say, here's the concept of it. And then on the back of it, there's another picture of Hawk.
Cool. Very cool.
So, and this says, let's see what we were advertising here at this point. Classic arcade gameplay. It says, oh, what a rush. Classic arcade gameplay. 12 playable legendary wrestlers with all of their signature moves. 1 to 8 player local co-op. The return. I don't know. I guess I was talking to. I completely forgot about this. The return of Mike McGurk as ring announcer.
Oh,
so, that never happened though.
Okay,
I never even had a conversation with her, but I guess it was in the plans at this point.
Right.
Game modes include singles, tag team, 6-man tag, 8-man tag, and battle royal. It wasn't called the Retro Rumble at this point.
Okay, yeah.
So that's what we had, featuring legends from the NWA. So this was, and I had mentioned. So I mentioned Mike Archer on the last episode. So one of the things we were thinking, and we were playing with the idea of doing an NWA thing because when I met with him first, I had the Road Warriors already signed. So it's like, well, let's maybe see who else we can get from the NWA, and it was we end up getting like the Rock and Roll Express and a couple other people, but Magnum TA, Nikita Koloff, but. At the time, the NWA was just starting to. Billy Corgan had bought it. There was rumbling. I don't think they had started NWA Power yet, but they were about to. So we were thinking of leaning in that route, like an NWA version of WrestleFest, basically.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And you'll notice this was called RetroFest Wrestling. Is what we were originally going to call it. So I had mentioned, a couple episodes ago. The meeting that guy had with Hulk Hogan, right, which ended up being a autograph signing. So I had given him one of these.
Oh, very cool.
So this was another RetroFest Wrestling featuring Hulk Hogan, the Road Warriors. He was friends with, I forgot about this, Lanny Poffo at the time. So this is when the Genius was still alive. The genius Lanny Poffo, Demolition, who I had not talking to yet, but I guess this was the plan because at the time we only had the Road Warriors and many, many more. And then on the back of this is the same thing I had on the other one. But you'll notice I didn't point this out. We actually have an image of Hulk Hogan dropping the leg.
Oh, yes. Okay.
On the Iron Sheik.
Yeah.
And this is, we didn't have graphics of this. We only made 2 frames of this, and that was it. But funny enough, I opened this up yesterday when I was preparing for this, and I have the pitch that I was going to give to Hulk Hogan. So we had one. Wow. I forgot we made this art. Like, this is nowhere else. So I'm going to hide my my email address or my telephone number from this, but
wow. RetroFest Wrestling. That's so cool.
So I have, and on the back, I have RetroFest Wrestling is a new wrestling game under development by RetroSoft Studios. RetroSoft Studios is a new game development studio targeting the growing retro gaming market. So this is like 2019. So I think that's pretty accurate. Like it was really taking off then. Retro games are often referred to 2D games that were extremely popular before the advent of 3D games around 1995. Now, I haven't read this in 7 years, so I'm just this is like I don't. We can critique this and see if this is a good pitch or a bad pitch at this point. Obviously, not very good because I never got Hogan. But although I'm not sure if he or anyone in his camp read this, so the demand for 2D games in this style has once again become very popular, and the market has a void when it comes to wrestling games. RetroFest Wrestling is being developed to fill that void. So who better to lead the charge in dominating the retro wrestling gaming market than the immortal Hulk Hogan? With Hulkamania running wild on the cover of RetroFest Wrestling, it is sure to take the Nintendo Switch by storm, pending approval. So at this point, we didn't even have Switch approval. So you have to go through a process. You have to submit your idea to Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft. They have to approve it, and then you can get on it. And I think it's not like a slam dunk to get approved on. I think we had something unique in that there were no other wrestling games at the time. I think at the same time I was talking to Matt Dickey from Wrestling Empire. He was in the process. I'd mentioned him on a previous podcast too. He was in the process of porting his game to the Switch, and I just traded emails with him last week. He just reached out because I shouted him out on this.
Oh, cool!
A couple weeks ago, and he's like, "Yeah, I remember talking to you about we were both trying to get our game on the Switch, so this is kind of timely." And I said we would love to partner up with Hulk and many of his friends and foes through the years to make this an unforgettable experience on the Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and PC via Steam. We would love to enter into an agreement with Hulk to use his image and likeness in our game and advertising promotions of this game. Below is an estimated royalty payment based on estimated units sold, current estimate. So I'm not really going to go into all this, but where are my units sold? So I have 5,000 up to 500,000. And I have like a chart. So here's the low end. What if we only sell 5,000 units and if we sell 500,000 units? So that was pretty much it. And then this is interesting. There's currently three other wrestling games under development that we are aware of. Chikara Pro Wrestling. So I don't know do you remember Chikara?
I do, yeah. I didn't know they had a game though.
Well, so they had Action Arcade Wrestling came out eventually. They originally had a license with Chikara, and then the whole Me Too movement blew up.
Oh.
And the owner got outed, and they had to fold. So they had to pull the license from Action Arcade Wrestling. Pro Wrestling X, which is still under development. And this is interesting. Untitled wrestling game. I forgot about this. Based on Ring of Honor is rumored. No details available. And then I have WWE 2K19 is not releasing on the Switch, nor is Fire Pro Wrestling World as of this writing, which makes the Switch a prime target for this game.
Right, and it is. It was.
Yeah,
Still is.
Yeah. So that was my pitch to Hulk Hogan.
Good pitch, yeah. I would have played that game.
But I guess it didn't make its way to the beach shop meeting, apparently.
I wonder if the guy actually even got as far as giving the thing over. You never know.
I doubt it. I don't think so. But
no, but I don't think the game has suffered from not having.
Oh no, not at all. And
so
in hindsight, there's some stuff that this is before some stuff came out with Hogan that kind of damaged his reputation. And, how well did Hulk Hogan's main event sell for the Xbox 360? It was only a couple of years before this pitch. So it's like maybe this wasn't, but this is like 10-year-old me making a game with Hulk Hogan was appealing. And
I could. Yeah, even I was more of a Ultimate Warrior fan.
Right.
That don't mean to say I didn't have love for the Hulkster. So I can imagine it. It must have been, kind of amazing to even pitch something to the Hulkster. So this is 2019.
Yep.
This is happening. So from there, you got 3 wrestlers signed.
Yep.
What were the next steps? Do you actively start signing more, or were you at the same time focusing on what was actually going into the game?
Both, yeah. So we're doing both at once. So I had Mike Archer. We were kind of formulating a strategy of who we wanted to go over. I will save 3 signings for next episode because that's a whole episode in itself.
Oh, okay. Ooh, interesting.
Here's an interesting one. Another person, and I'm gonna I've listened to the Joe Rogan podcast, and he tells Jamie to look something up.
Yeah.
I want to check something I forgot to check. Let me see. Okay. All right. So this is about this time period. So 2019, okay. I was right. Okay. I just wanted to double check. So I had reached out to Zach Sabre Jr. around this time.
Oh, yes. Okay.
And I watched some of his matches, and I was just a fan of his. And I'm like, you know what? That would be interesting. Like, I don't think I think he was in Fire Pro World, or he might not have been yet because this just come out. And I don't think the New Japan stuff had come out yet. But either way, I thought it was cool. It would be unique with his move set. I thought it would be a good compliment. And I generally liked the stuff I had watched with him.
Yeah.
So he was the most straightforward, easy to sign. We have 10 emails exchanged. He gave me a cell number. We had a call when he was in Japan. He didn't really want to help promote the game, but he was willing to lend his likeness to the game.
Okay.
But he didn't really want to be bogged down with, like, I'm over here. I don't know what I can do. He's like, but if you want to put me in, I'd be happy to be a part of it. And so I was like, you know what? I like it. I think it'll be a good addition.
Cool.
Let's do it. So
yeah, very cool.
There isn't much of a story to tell because he was just so like laid back and cool and easy to work. It was like
right.
It was a couple emails and we were done, and I had one phone call. I gave him the pitch and he signed on. I sent him a electronic link to sign off on a contract and we were done. So
wow. Okay.
So we have that going on. So now we have, I think I think this is the proper order too. We have the Road Warriors, we have Zach Sabre Jr., we have Tommy Dreamer, we have Zach Sabre Jr. on board. So we're 4 to that 12. We're talking, we're still waiting to hear back from Hulk in the meeting, but and then we're just me and Mike are kind of figuring out, all right, who else can we approach to do this? So then we're kind of digging into some of Mike's contacts. Okay. Now at this point.
Now, for those of you that don't know or haven't seen previous episodes, Mike had worked within the WWE/F and also Acclaim at the video game end of things. So he was like the dream guy. So
yes. Yeah. And I forget what episode that was in, but definitely go back and check it. Maybe 3, I want to say. We brought Mike up and told that meeting story. But yeah, so we signed Zach Sabre Jr. We are now, and at the same time, I have a lead programmer who is programming the game with my input. I'm testing the game pretty much daily at this point as we're working through the grapple systems and all that. But a couple key things I kind of glossed over here was the naming. So I have a lawyer at this point. And we were looking at RetroFest, and eventually, I can't remember if it was trademark availability or what, but eventually I landed on RetroMania, and I just thought it was rolled off the tongue a little bit better. RetroFest sound a little too much leaning into WrestleFest, I thought, and I don't know. For some reason, I slept on it, and eventually I landed on, let's go with RetroMania. So
yeah,
one of the things we did is we filed a trademark for it. So
gotcha.
You can do it yourself. I had my lawyer do it because I really didn't know what I was doing. I didn't want to. I was just concerned about screwing something up. So I had my. They do two. There's 2 types. They can do like a simple search or in like an exhaustive search for when you're going to file a trademark. Now you can just go in, and if it's not available, you can just anybody can just go in online into the U.S. trademark, and you can see, what's available, what's not available.
Right.
But it's not like you don't necessarily need one per se. Now, asterisk, I'm not a lawyer. I don't pretend to be a lawyer. Don't take this as legal advice, blah, blah, blah. But if you start using a name, you are actively selling a product under that term, you can in court supersede someone who files a trademark after if you can prove that you're already been using this name in it. So it's not like the trademark officially, and it's only the US version, right? So there's other countries have other rules, which I honestly wasn't really concerned with at this time.
No, because what the way you're making the game and everything, it makes sense to get it right in the US first. Right about the other stuff later. Yeah. And this is 2019, right?
Yeah, this is 2019.
Right, 2019. Okay.
So I get my lawyer, we file the trademark. It takes a couple months to finally go through. And then it's funny, fast forward, and this isn't a big story, so I'll just tell it now, but we actually had someone file for RetroMania to use it in not for video games.
Oh, so okay.
You can fight it. And I think I did the cheapest thing. Like it took my lawyer 10 minutes to file I don't know. Part of me is like, well, why should you use it? I've built up some brand recognition with it,
Exactly. Yes.
But the kind of the rules are if you don't use it, you can't just get it for everything. Like I can't go and now create a toilet paper. Well, I guess I could, but if I create a toilet paper called RetroMania toilet paper, my trademark doesn't necessarily cover that. You have to declare exactly what product you're selling.
Mm-hmm.
So we have, we get the trademark filed. We're talking to wrestlers. We have our list, who we're getting a hold of, who we're not getting a hold of.
Mm.
And then at the same time, I'm working with an art director. And we're defining, we've defined our style, we've defined our 4 bodies. And now we're working with an animator continually, which we'd started the last 2 episodes. And we're now cranking out animations. So we have stuff to use in our gameplay. But now the next step of this now is we need the actual wrestlers. So we have the Road Warriors signed. So those are going to be our first 2 wrestlers that we're going to put in the game.
Yeah.
So now I got to find more artists. So I have my pixel artist who does the animations, and I had the main pixel artist who did the style of this. But now I got to find somebody to, and I have an environmental artist, Corey, who I talked about before. So Corey's just a full-time pixel artist. He did all the environments in RetroMania.
Right.
So
and that's the rings and outside. Everything that's not a wrestler, essentially. That's what an environmental artist. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, you got it. So all of the cool stuff we did with like the convention arenas, the Cardona style, major league or major
wrestling
figure podcast. Stuff. He did all that stuff. So Corey got us some ring assets so we could use, at least we have a ring in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm finding artists wherever I can. I'm posting on websites. I have the equivalent of Upwork. Again, I don't know why I always blank on this name, and I mean to look it up. But Upwork again is a site where you can list a job posting. You can have contractors come out, give you an estimate of how much it'll cost. So I get somebody to do the Road Wars. Now, luckily, it's one at this point. The cost part of this is just one, and then a head swap.
Okay, yeah.
So the Road Warriors do have individual moves. So but they do share some as well.
Yes.
So they both have a body slam. They both have the press slam. There's a couple other things they both have. But we can do a lot of the same stuff. And then the selling animations, every wrestler is going to have.
Yes.
So we can repeat it. But so we get the Road Warriors now start to be in the game. So we have the Road Warriors walking out in their spikes. Mm-hmm. And Corey actually did the entrances too.
Cool.
Coming out in their spikes. And so we have that. Now, here is, in hindsight, one of the biggest mistakes I made was at this point in time. So I had the vision to think, eventually I want to be able to swap. I want to have multiple palettes, right? So what a palette is in pixel art is the character stays the same, but just change the colors of their gear.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew I wanted to do that. There was already a plugin in Game Maker called Pixel Swapper that Pixelated Pope is the Game Maker developer who created this. So I knew we wanted to use that. But this is such a stupid mistake. Like, oh my God. Like, I did not emphasize enough to the pixel artists that we were doing this. So we created this palette of colors that we wanted to use for each character. But here's an example. So, like, we have a shade of red in Animal's face paint. And then on the side of the LOD's tights, they have a red design, right? Well, we use the same color red in the face paint as the color red in the design of the pants. So if you swap red out, and you just want to change the color of the pants, you're going to change the face paint too. Right. Okay. So, duh. You know what I mean? It's like, you think about it now, I'm like, so stupid. It's easy to look back now, but if you didn't know, red, it's like, red is red. It's Okay. So it's like, all it had to be was, it could look the same color, but it just had to be a different, like, every RGB color has like a 6 or 7 digit numeric value as well. Yes. So all we had to do was change it slightly and give it a different numeric value. We would have been good. But we didn't. So when we eventually go and we want to add additional palettes, we're screwed. Because now we can't change the face paint without, and that was a very simple one that we kind of could have got away with, but there was like more egregious issues with it than that, like shading that we used, and then the shading would get messed up, and so I didn't know. So I didn't have an art director. Like, I was acting as the art director, and again, this all goes back to first time the game developer. So already I don't know anything. And and I am conscious of the dollar, and that I don't want to lose a ton of money, because I was really going into this thinking I was not going to make money, like, at all. And again, like I said this in the previous, not that I made a ton, but it did at least paid for itself. The wrestlers got paid, everybody got paid that worked on it. So, and everybody made a little bit of money on it, but a little bit, not a lot. But so I was very conscious of trying to save money. But with that said, like, in hindsight, I should have hired somebody who knew what they were doing, because I end up fixing the pixel art and it cost me a ton of money to do it. So I would have, it was money I had made on the game, but so I reinvested it back into the game to make the game better. But, if I would have just this simple thing of make sure you use these color values exactly for these parts of the character. And we got better at this as time went on. Like with the last DLC, that wasn't an issue anymore. We'd already fixed it. We had addressed the problem. But I had no idea going in that, hey, this mistake's going to cost you thousands of dollars to fix once you have 25 wrestlers on the roster. You know what I mean? So.
But you don't know what you don't know at the time. This is the thing. You're coming into this, like, I think maybe you're giving yourself a bit of a hard time here, Mike, because you've already accomplished something that most of us could only dream of. And obviously, I mean, I'm a podcaster, but I make tons of mistakes doing this stuff because I don't know. You look back at the early episodes of everything and it's like, oh, yeah. So it ended up costing you some money, but now you know.
Right.
This is another lesson learned. So you've got Animal, you've got Hulk. 2 wrestlers in the game. Where do we go from Animal and Hulk to giving people?
So now it's kind of like, so I find out early. So I have somebody working on Tommy Dreamer and Zach Sabre Jr. too. So I think I had a different artist there, because I was finding like, and the same thing goes with like some pixel artists were better than others, and we had to do some more cleanup than others. But I was trying to get like the numbers in my budget, and I know I talked about I have a budget, Mike. So we have a budget now, but I'm already realizing my budget was way under budgeted for pixel art. Right. That specific pixel art, because like we have now. So I'm seeing these animations are starting to come in, right? And we do a body slam. All right, well that's 7 frames animation for the person doing the move, and another 7 frames animation for the person getting the move done to them. Right?
Yeah.
So now, and the way we have this art pipeline set up, so now what they're doing is they're drawing over. So we're drawing them in our generic looking guide. Like all the animations are being done that. So we're creating this whole big sprite sheet of all these moves. And then I'm giving that sprite sheet to a finishing artist who's then going over. So now they have all the poses, they have all the shading, but now they got to go and add the details to make the wrestler distinct.
Right. Okay.
So it's going from one artist, which is that baseline of the, depending on what body type they are.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
So now at this point, we have 3 body types we're working with. So I have 3 pixel artists working on it. So I have one working on the Road Warriors, who are like the strong type. Then we have Tommy Dreamer, who's more of a heavier set wrestler. Then we have Zach Sabre Jr., who's our technical style wrestler. So he's a little thinner. So we have 3 different body types. So I have 3 different pixel artists working, and they're drawing. And every animation we do in these 4 body types. So we have a complete set. So then I can work with multiple artists at once. And if you look at the RetroMania credits, it's like over it's not 50. It's over 50 people, but I want to say the art pixel artists alone, it's got to be 30 people, because what I found was, I think the guy who did Tommy Dreamer or Zach Sabre, one of them was like, I don't want to do another character. So this is tedious as hell.
That's helpful. Right. Okay.
So you got to get people who love it, because, here's the thing in finding the artists. Another thing I found out was why there weren't a lot of wrestling games being made by like indie, because I would have thought, so we're 2019 time frame. I would have thought WrestleFest is now 30 years old, but every game is coming out. Like all these Metroidvania retro games are coming out. All these pixel art games are coming out, but no wrestling games. No one's doing a wrestling game. Even the other, and I alluded to this in the Hulk Hogan pitch, even the other wrestling games were all going 3D. So there was no other. Again, Matt Dickey comes up. He did a 2D game, but even his 2D game, he was already on to 3D at this point in 2019. His 2D game was probably 10 years old at this point. Don't quote me on that. But it was a lot older that he had come out with his 2D game. So I was like, I'm going to do a 2D game. And now I'm like, God, it's a lot of pixel art, So people will yes you to death. Oh, I can do that. When you're trying to find artists, everybody's like, oh, I love this. I can definitely
yeah.
Until they do a full character, and they've made 1,000 sprites, and they're like, how many more characters do you have?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's like, well, how? I mean, it's work. I'm paying you.
Yeah.
My check didn't bounce. They got paid for it. But I think part of it was, the level of pixel artists I was getting was not someone super experienced. So, and I knew that, but it's also, I wasn't super experienced. I thought, I'll pay for less experience because it's cheaper. And, then you get more experience and you realize, well, they can do a much better job, and they can do it quicker. Now, with that said, I feel like I will hang my hat on if nothing else, I got some inexperienced pixel artists, some work that they got paid for to get better at their craft. Right?
This is they're gaining the experience from actually working on a real thing that's actually going to come out. So
So I think in that regard, but you do get what you pay for. Like, Corey was more expensive, which is why I didn't have him do it, but Corey is amazing. You know what I mean? So in hindsight, I would have he's done some really good work. But with that said, I ended up with the DLC was all done. All the wrestlers in the DLC was done by one small team. And I think they did a really good job. So, but I also had Corey was more eventually becomes the art director. Spoiler alert, right? But
right. Okay.
So he needed to free up time and stuff. But we'll go into that story later. But basically, we're moving along though. We are making progress. We're working on Tommy Dreamer. We're working on Zach Sabre Jr. And we have the Road Warriors going. And I'll tell you though, here's another side thing. We only had the Road Warriors in game for like ever, it seemed. So me and my friend Wade, who I met on the wrestling forums, who lives in Australia, who's helping me test every night. So we would meet up at my night, his morning, and then he would test during his day, and he'd tell me what he found, and then I'd go back and test. So we're going back and forth. It's just really me and him at this point testing, and we're just playing as the Road Warriors. It's Animal versus Hulk, so we don't have tag team game in this yet. We get so sick of playing because we do this for like, I want to say like we're making the other art, but we're not necessarily putting it in the game yet because we're just focused on the gameplay and the animations, getting the animations actually coded in game and working. So we're not focused on getting the other wrestlers in the game yet, and we are just getting so sick of playing as Animal and Hawk at this point. Like that's all we play as. And it's just a singles game.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just one-on-one. And it's don't get me wrong, it was super cool at first. But now it's like we haven't done any arenas. We're in the same arena, just Animal versus Hawk. Now it is cool every time we see a new move, but that only lasts less and less as we're going through. It's like we want more at this point. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The novelty is over. Yeah, they did this 30 years ago, Mike. It's not that impressive. You know what I mean? Like, let's do some cool stuff, So I think that's when it started getting more interesting for me again. Like and I think probably every developer probably goes through this, I would assume. And in talking to a lot of developers and seeing other videos online of people discussing this, everything's not just super glamorous and exciting as you're doing this game development. There's a point where, I have to play and do the same stuff over and over to find these bugs, and it gets tedious and boring to do that.
I can imagine. Yeah.
But it's necessary, and it's not exciting, and you can get burnt out on it. So luckily, though, the only thing I can say is in a one-man, at this point, there's only a handful of us, but it's interesting to interact with the artists, interact with Mike Archer doing the business stuff. I'm talking to other developers through emails at this point, and you can commiserate a little bit, or even if now I know like Matt and I know Dave Horn from Action Arcade Wrestling. We've traded emails. Dave Wanowski from I think I'm pronouncing his name, from Pro Wrestling X, I've exchanged emails with, but they're posting stuff so I can see what everybody's doing, and I can see I'm sure they're going through some of the similar struggles as we are, and just outside of the wrestling, just independent game dev. I think I watched, there's a famous movie called Indie Game. What's this called? Indie Games, the movie is what it was called. This came out, I want to say like 2012. So at this point, it's like 7 years old. But it's on like Super Meat Boy. I want to say Braid.
Yes.
Was it, maybe.
Yes, I've seen that. Yeah, Super Meat Boy and something else that turns. It's
yes.
like a puzzle game.
What the hell was the name of that? The developer was kind of polarizing too of that game.
Yes, yeah, I can't remember. I can't for the life of me remember the name of the game, but yes, I remember that movie. Yeah, it was very interesting. Very interesting.
So I've watched that a couple times. Like, all right, everybody's going through this because that does a good job of like kind of documenting the struggles of what they're going through. Now, I never hit it as big as those games did, but still I could relate to some of the stuff they were going through. So I think I've watched that leading up to doing this, and now I've rewatched it a couple times. So to kind of get inspiration and things of that nature. And now we've already, and I kind of glazed over all this, but we've announced the game at this point.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and this will be a good segue because we went to too many games. So we were already starting to build our social media, and this, we're probably at the 40-minute mark now. So I'll probably leave. This is a lot to cover. So I'll hold this off, and this will be a good stopping point. But it's like, I've gone to too many games, and we have a little bit of a demo going. We had people play it there, but it was at that point, it's two guys in their underwear. We brought Tommy Dreamer out, and like I'm making more mistakes in hindsight again, like doing things in the wrong order. But it's like, I have a reason to meet Tommy Dreamer, so I marked out a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yes,
so like,
I understood. Yep.
There's like things that probably I should have waited to, and not that Tommy wouldn't do it again, and he ends up doing it. I do a couple other things with him, but the order of things probably wasn't the best. So next episode we'll tease it. We'll go into how we started our marketing, right? So the whole thing was we got some wrestlers now, and think of, even with the Animal's still alive at this point. Zach, we weren't going to get any real social media stuff, but Tommy, part of his deal was he would promote us on his Twitter and social media. So that was kind of our marketing strategy. But I'll go into it in more detail next episode because I have another hire that was right around this time as well. Maybe a little earlier. I might be a little bit out of order, but it's roughly the same time. And I can go into who I got for marketing, what our plan was going in, and what we ended up doing. So that'll be.
Sorry, I just want to ask: is the reason for going to too many games to literally get email addresses or something like that, just to gauge any interest in the game, even in a very, very early form of the game, where you're just two generic wrestlers? But you were just out there to tell people, hey, we're here. This is what we're doing. Keep your eyes peeled.
Absolutely. So I think right around this, or maybe a month or two before, is when we actually launched social media.
Right.
So we thought this would be a good thing to do to gain interest. Too Many Games was right near my house. I had known, I reached out to the owners there. And I said, hey, can I have a table? Or sorry, I take that back. I'm getting this confused. I have to go back and look at this.
But you're on the spot now.
So the first... So the way I got into Too Many Games was they have an indie game showcase. And I just put in for it, and I got accepted. So, So the first year I did it, it was just an indie game showcase. I got accepted, and I think that was 2018. So we must have had a little bit of a demo then in 2018. 2019, we might have had Hawk and Animal. So I might be screwing up this.
Right. Okay.
Because I was there it was 2018. 2019, I wanted to go back, and I had Hawk and Animal in. So everything is true. I'm off like 2 months. So back up what I said. The Animal and Hawk was leading up to Too Many Games, and we actually had them in the game. And when we were at Too Many Games in 2019, Tommy came out. Yes, and Too Many Games said, we'll give you the table. If you bring Tommy. If you bring a wrestler out, you can have the table. So
very cool. Okay.
I paid to have Tommy come out, and it was easy because he was drivable. I didn't have to, and he just came for the day. He came for Saturday. So he drove it. He worked with me. He's like, look, how about I drive in Saturday? I'll just drive home Saturday night, and you don't have to pay for a hotel. I'll drive. Just give me a booking fee to come and do stuff.
Yeah.
And I think I paid him, and he's like, you can earn this back by charging people for autographs. And I got some now I'm going to have to bring another hand. I had some little Tommy Dreamer images printed out.
Oh, okay.
And he was signing autographs for free.
Got it.
Now, if people wanted to sign something else, I just basically said, Tommy, you can sign that and they can pay you directly. Like he didn't charge me much. He really did me a favor. Like he was really cool about it. He's like, hey, I'll come help promote you. I paid him a little something for like basically to cover gas and stuff. But he didn't charge me much. And then he said, well, you can sign for autographs. And I go, I don't really want to sign for any. Like I don't want to charge people for that. I go, how about it? You can sign our merch, like not merch, but our handouts for free.
Yeah.
But if they come for to sign something of his, he'll just charge his autograph fee and they can pay him directly. That's what we ended up doing. And man, I skipped something else that I just thought of too. So we're gonna go into this. We're gonna back up a little bit. You know what? Sorry, people. This is 7 years ago.
No, this is as authentic as it gets with game design. So
there's actually we did. Now I'm gonna have to look this up again real quick. I don't know how good are you on WrestleManias and where they were.
Oh, terrible!
All
Absolutely
right.
terrible. I know 4 and 5 are at the Trump Plaza.
Right. I know the first couple, but
yeah, I know WrestleMania 6 was in Canada. WrestleMania 10 was at Madison Square Garden, but past that,
it was
kind of a
in
mystery.
New Jersey. What year was that? Recently.
WrestleMania 20 was also, so that was 2004. That was also at Madison Square Garden. WrestleMania 18 was in Canada because I was there. But yeah, that's bad.
So let's see. I gotta find which one. This will keep me honest. Maybe 40.
What are we on now? 42? 43? A lot of WrestleMania.
All right. Well, you know what? Doesn't I think here's what it's got to be this because I remember going to the event. So, okay. So it was whenever it was in New Jersey, and this is before we had anything playable. I did a table, and so WrestleMania is in April, and so this is April 2019. I think. I don't think it was April 2018. It's really going to bother me, but I'll correct. We'll have a correction at the beginning of next.
We'll figure it out. Yeah.
But anyway, so I have no game, it was definitely 2019 because I had Zach Sabre Jr. signed, I had Tommy Dreamer signed, I had the artwork done, and I was giving out free T-shirts. So I had the Road Warriors, Tommy Dreamer, and Zach Sabre Jr. This is April 2019. Because they were all signed already. And I had T-shirts made with their characters, which we still have on our website now. And, and I shared a table with some guy I randomly met online. He's like, hey, I'm doing a table. I don't even know. I forget what he was selling. I haven't talked to the guy since. But I paid the table was I want to say $250. We split it. So I got $125 for a table at WrestleCon. And this all makes sense. So this is April, which is when we launched our social media stuff. Was earlier in 2019, leading up to doing Too Many Games in June of 2019 with Tommy. So I have T-shirts made. I have a wheel, one of those cheap prize wheels, and you can win a T-shirt. I'm not selling anything. I'm giving out T-shirts. I have information packets with our social media. So this was the start of our social media stuff, which was, early. We'll call it early 2019, like April-ish 2019 is when we start. So we will take a step. I probably should have done that episode first. I got my times messed up. So we'll jump into that next episode of what we decide to do for social media. And I can go, and I'll go into a little more detail on this event. There's a couple of cool stories out of this event as well. So
very cool.
So we'll do social media and marketing next week. We're well into development though. Our timeline now, we're ending right around June now. 2019 is kind of where we are in the timeline. Where this
June
episode
2019. Yeah.
We will revisit April 2019 next episode because I did these a little bit out of order and skipped a big portion of our social media. For some reason, I thought we started social media right around this Too Many Games, and I completely forgot about the WrestleMania WrestleCon that we went to because I made some interesting contacts there who I would eventually sign later in towards the end of 2019.
Okay. But it's only a couple of months though.
It's only a couple of months, and it kind of blends together. It all is we're talking this is all over like a 5-6 month period. So it's not like I'm years off. I'm a couple of months off, but yeah. So I do want to end this because one of the things I do, we talked about this, Tony, was totally unrelated to the game development, but I collect one of the few things I collect are wrestling games. Okay. So I was at a Harrisburg convention, or no, where was I? At a store in Quakertown, a new video game store in Quakertown, which is about a little less than an hour from me. And they had, wrong one. I got something there too. But this one is out in Harrisburg. I did go to a convention. I didn't buy anything there. But on the way home, I stopped at a store called Just Press Play, which is in the Lancaster area in Pennsylvania, where I'm from, in one area. I found a game that now one of the rules, I should preface this by saying, is one of my rules to collecting is no online purchases. I have to buy it in person. So at a convention, at a video game store, it can be a local video game store, but I have to have an interaction with another person in person.
Totally understand.
I just think it makes it fun. It's too easy to go out and buy. Now, I may cave when I'm down to a couple things, but I picked up this game here.
Oh, Lord, Queen of the Ring. Wow.
Which I've never seen. It's rare that I see any Japanese video games. I've never played this. I do not own a PCFX, so I'm probably going to emulate it to play it. But it's complete in box. It has everything in here.
That's so cool.
So you got the instruction manual. Unfortunately, I cannot read Japanese.
Yeah. And
then the disc is in here as well.
It's such a fascinating machine as well. Yeah. Like, no, that's so cool.
So I picked that up. So one of the things I do want to do, and maybe this will be a separate stream I start doing, who knows, but because I think people might find it interesting, researching by playing old games and researching what I can either update with RetroMania, or if I eventually want to do another game, get ideas for another game.
Good idea.
And some of this stuff, I just want to go back because I think this would have been beneficial if I would have done this before I made RetroMania to get, because I really, Japanese, especially Japanese games, I played Fire Pro, that's about it. But there's so many of them. Like you realize, like, there's none now. Like, and I guess it's not as popular. Like, I don't know all of the reasoning behind it, but even now, it's like, I guess video games, especially wrestling games, are expensive to make. So, and I guess the demand just isn't there. But I really think it is a underserviced niche games.
Totally agree.
I want more wrestling games. The other thing I picked up, which is what you have behind you, which I was always jealous of, is Power Move.
Power Move Pro Wrestling. Oh, what a game.
I had found this 3 times, but it wasn't complete. I was missing the cover, and I was like, I'm going to wait. So I finally found it complete, and I picked it up. Now, that is I have the U.S. version of it. But I finally found that and picked it up. I was happy. The one that's going to be elusive is Wrestle War, because that was not released in the U.S. So I'm hoping, like, I'm going to a convention in 2 weeks, Retro World Expo in Connecticut. And I'm hoping I can find it there. I've become friends with one of the owners of that, who also owns some retro video game stores in the Connecticut area. So I told him, last year you had no wrestling games at your booth. I go, I expect some wrestling games at your booth this year. So
are you looking for the Japanese one or the European one?
Oh, I want them all, like, eventually.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. So I'll take any of them. I do like the fact, though, that there's different artwork for Wrestle War. There's different artwork on the Japanese version than there is on the European version.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I find that fascinating, and it's in the name of research because I can write it off on my taxes. So I'm researching for new wrestling games.
Yeah, well, funny you mentioned picking up wrestling games, because I actually just went to a convention game market this past weekend with John Riggs. And largely, I don't buy wrestling games anymore because I have quite a plethora, and there are some. But when you see terrible games like ECW for the Game Boy Color, I cannot imagine this is good in any way, shape, or form. But it was literally like $5.
You got to fire that up.
You know what? I'm going to get that. And I also found WWF Superstars 2 for the Game Boy. So, not
I
many
passed on
game
that.
pickups.
How much did you pay for that?
Like $15.
So I saw it complete in box. They wanted like 200, and I passed. I'm not paying 200 for it.
No, I saw some games that were in box with manual, but the boxes were kind of beat, and they were so expensive. And I just, you know what? I'm a loose cart. I'm happy with.
I'm trying to get everything complete. So some of them are harder than others. Like I got some are, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. My pocketbook might not let me complete this quest. So
that copy of Wrestle War could be winging its way to Philadelphia anytime soon because I am not attached to that whatsoever. And I was actually given that for free. So I would be happy to send it
there
over.
we go. We got to get that trip. We got to do
something.
an in-person podcast eventually.
We will do. That is something like if it's next year, we're still doing the podcast. I'm happy to fly. I will fly anywhere. Talk about wrestling games and podcasts. That's awesome. My thing. So I cannot wait for next week. This sounds like it's getting really interesting now. Not that it wasn't before, but now we're starting to deal with personalities and, you know,
we got another lawsuit coming up pretty soon too.
Oh Lord. I can't wait for this. Best hour I spend of the week. Remember to follow, subscribe, like all that good stuff. But Mike, I cannot wait for next week. I really cannot.